Airport ho. Na Kwahu Airport ya start here EAC ewa. The airport at EAC Okwememo has the longest runway in the whole world. Me call Minister for the longest runway in the world.
The announcement that the Kwahu Airport, currently under construction in Ghana, will feature the longest runway in the world has set the country's political and media landscape abuzz, sparking curiosity, skepticism, and heated debates across both aviation and development circles. The bold declaration was made by Dr. Bryan Acheampong, a well-known Ghanaian politician, entrepreneur, and influential figure in national development conversations. For him, the airport represents far more than just an airstrip in a hilly enclave. It is a symbol of transformation, a catalyst for growth, and a potential crown jewel in Ghana's aviation infrastructure. Yet, it is his claim that the Kwahu Airport will boast the world's longest runway that has truly captured public attention, triggering both excitement and disbelief. To understand why such a statement resonates so strongly, one must first consider the context. Kwahu is a region with a unique history and cultural significance in Ghana. Perched along the highlands and known for its Easter festivities that draw crowds from across the country and the diaspora, Kwahu has long been seen as a tourist hotspot. But beyond its cultural appeal lies an economic ambition that has often gone unfulfilled. For years, policymakers and entrepreneurs alike have envisioned Kwahu as more than a seasonal tourist attraction, imagining it instead as a strategic hub for aviation, commerce, and logistics. The proposed airport fits perfectly into this vision, not only serving passengers, but also positioning the region as a critical node in Ghana's growing economy. Dr. Bryan Acheampong has been one of the leading voices championing this transformation. In his public address, he painted a vivid picture of the airport as a 10-year development catalyst that could unlock massive economic opportunities for the area. Job creation, infrastructure upgrades, and international recognition were all part of the ambitious narrative. But in the process, he dropped a statement that surprised many, that Kwahu's runway would be the longest in the world. Immediately, ears perked, eyebrows raised, and fact-checkers went to work. Currently, aviation records are quite clear about which airports hold the global title for runway length. Rikaze Peace Airport in China and Ulyanovsk Vostochny Airport in Russia both hold the record at 16,000 feet, designed specifically to handle some of the largest aircraft in existence and to serve strategic military and commercial purposes. These runways are not only marvels of engineering, but also massive financial undertakings, supported by national resources on a scale that is often unimaginable in smaller economies. Against this backdrop, Ghana announcing plans to surpass such infrastructure understandably triggered skepticism. Could Kwahu Airport truly aim to outdo airports that serve as global giants in aviation? Could a single project in the highlands of Ghana rival the titans of China and Russia? One complicating factor is that to date, the official runway length for Kwahu Airport has not been disclosed to the public. Without figures, it is difficult to verify or even measure the seriousness of the claim. Aviation experts have noted that surpassing a 16,000-foot benchmark is not only a matter of ambition, but also of practical necessity. Longer runways are usually required for high-altitude airports, where aircraft need additional takeoff distance, or for facilities designed to accommodate the heaviest and largest aircraft. Even then, surpassing current global records would require not just vision, but enormous financial investment, land availability, and precise engineering. For Ghana, which is still developing its aviation sector, such a feat would be monumental, and perhaps even unnecessary if passenger and cargo projections do not demand it. This is not to say that the vision of Kwahu Airport itself should be dismissed. Around the world, airports have proven to be anchors of economic transformation, reshaping entire regions and countries by stimulating tourism, trade, and industrial development. Africa is in the middle of such a transformation. Recently, the African Development Bank approved an $8 billion financing mandate for Ethiopia's Bishoftu International Airport, a project expected to ease congestion at Addis Ababa's Bole International Airport and support Ethiopian Airlines' ambition to dominate the continent's skies. Massive airport projects like Bishoftu underscore a larger trend. African nations are beginning to recognize that aviation infrastructure is not a luxury, but a critical component of economic growth. Ghana's pursuit of a modern airport in Kwahu fits neatly into this trend, signaling ambition, foresight, and determination. But ambition must also be tempered with credibility. For development projects of this scale, transparency and accuracy in communication are crucial. When political leaders or project champions make claims that appear exaggerated or difficult to substantiate, they risk creating a disconnect between public perception and actual progress. Investor confidence can also be affected, as stakeholders may question whether bold announcements are rooted in detailed planning or mere political rhetoric. In this sense, Dr. Acheampong's claim about the world's longest runway sits at a delicate intersection between visionary ambition and the danger of overpromising. Still, it is worth exploring why such a statement might have been made in the first place. In the competitive space of infrastructure development, bold declarations often serve as rallying calls designed to inspire excitement, mobilize public support, and attract investment interest. By framing the Kwahu Airport as potentially world-leading, Acheampong effectively positions it as a project not just for the region, but for the global stage. The psychology behind such announcements should not be underestimated. Big statements can generate momentum, spark national pride, and give communities a reason to rally around a project. Whether the claim of the longest runway proves accurate or not, the underlying message is clear. Kwahu deserves an airport of significant scale and ambition, one that places it firmly on Ghana's development map. Yet the aviation community is not so easily swayed by rhetoric. Runway lengths are precise measurements, recorded and verified internationally. If Kwahu Airport is to live up to its promise, clear information will eventually be required. How long will the runway truly be? What class of aircraft will it accommodate? Will it serve international traffic, or will it focus primarily on domestic and regional connectivity? Answers to these questions will define the project's actual significance. Until then, skepticism is not only expected, but perhaps necessary, ensuring that public discourse remains grounded in facts rather than speculation. Meanwhile, the spotlight on Kwahu Airport reflects a broader narrative about Africa's evolving relationship with aviation. For decades, African nations lagged behind in aviation infrastructure, with limited connectivity, outdated facilities, and underfunded projects. But the tide is turning. Ethiopia, Rwanda, Nigeria, Kenya, and South Africa are all investing heavily in their aviation sectors, seeking to position themselves as gateways to global markets. In this context, Ghana's Kwahu project could be seen as part of a continental renaissance, where new airports are not just transportation hubs, but symbols of modernity and progress. The real success of Kwahu Airport, however, will not be measured solely by the length of its runway. Instead, it will be judged by its ability to deliver on the promises of transformation. Will it create jobs for local communities? Will it attract investors and tourists? Will it stimulate ancillary industries such as hospitality, logistics, and real estate? And perhaps most importantly, will it stand as a beacon of credibility, proving that Ghana can dream big while delivering tangible results? For the people of Kwahu, these questions carry personal weight. Many have long felt that their region's potential has been underutilized, overshadowed by the economic dominance of Accra, Kumasi, and Takoradi. An airport could rebalance that equation, drawing opportunities closer to home and giving young people reasons to stay, work, and build in Kwahu. The symbolism of such a development cannot be overstated. It represents hope, pride, and the belief that the future of Ghana lies not only in its capital cities, but also in its regions. At the same time, Ghanaian society is not blind to the risks of inflated promises. Infrastructure projects in the country's history have often been marred by delays, funding challenges, or scaling down from original announcements. Citizens have learned to balance enthusiasm with caution, celebrating ambition while demanding accountability. In this sense, the skepticism surrounding the runway claim is not a rejection of the project itself, but a reflection of a matured public that insists on transparency. The global aviation community, too, will be watching closely. The prospect of an African airport surpassing global records is fascinating, but the bar for verification is high. If Kwahu Airport eventually reveals a runway length that challenges the dominance of Rikaze Peace and Ulyanovsk Vostochny, it would be historic. If not, the project can still succeed by focusing on its regional impact and long-term sustainability. Either way, it will remain a story worth following.
If today is your first time watching this channel or you are returning to this channel for the exciting content, please subscribe to the channel for more educative and developmental projects across Ghana and Africa as a whole. Do you want to know about the state of a project in Africa? Then make sure to like and comment the name of the project you would like us to talk about and its current state.